Have you ever thought about how a really small idea can have a massive, industry-shattering impact? Well, we're about to dive into a legendary business story that proves it can. It's a revolution that didn't start with some huge explosion, but with a tiny, simple packet that, believe me, would change absolutely everything.
Start with this question, and I want you to really think about it. How can a single rupee coin, something you might not even bother to pick up off the street, have enough power to bring giant multinational corporations to their knees? It sounds impossible, right? Well, that is exactly what happened in the Indian shampoo market.
Now, to really get the scale of this revolution, we first need to understand the kingdom it completely overthrew. So let's rewind to the 1980s. Back then, the Indian shampoo market felt like this impenetrable fortress, guarded by global giants who were convinced they had it all figured out.
You see, for hundreds of millions of people, shampoo wasn't a daily item, not even close. It was this distant, urban luxury. It always came in these big, kind of intimidating bottles that you'd only ever see in big city stores. It felt like a product for somebody else, not for the average person. And if you break it down, the strategy these giants were using was just fundamentally flawed for the Indian market. They only sold shampoo in big, pricey bottles, which meant a really high upfront cost. Their entire distribution network was built just for cities, and all their advertising was aimed at the middle and upper classes. They were completely, and I mean completely, ignoring the huge rural majority of the country.
And the scale of this blind spot was just staggering, 70%. Think about that for a second. These huge companies looked at over 2/3 of the entire country and basically decided, nope, not worth our time. They were labeled unreachable and unprofitable. But here's the thing. What they saw as a problem, one man saw as the single greatest business opportunity in Indian history.
And that brings us to our hero, C.K. Ranganathan, and his absolutely game-changing idea. Now, he didn't have a better chemical formula or some massive marketing budget. What he had was something way more powerful, a fundamentally deeper understanding of the Indian consumer.
And right here, this is the aha moment that changed everything. Ranganathan had this incredible insight. He realized the problem wasn't the price of the shampoo itself, it was the price point. People couldn't afford a whole bottle at once. A daily wage earner just couldn't spend a huge chunk of their income on a luxury item. But what about 1 rupee for a single wash? Now that was a completely different story.
And when you put the two models side by side, the difference is just night and day. The bottle was a planned, expensive monthly purchase from a city store, a luxury for the salaried class. The sachet, it flipped every single one of those points on its head. It was an impulsive, daily purchase for just 1 rupee, available in every tiny village shop. And that single move turned shampoo from a luxury into a daily necessity for literally everyone.
So with this one simple, brilliant idea, the stage was set for an absolute tsunami to hit the industry. The walls of that shampoo fortress, well, they were about to come crashing down in a way that absolutely nobody saw coming.
The launch of the 1 rupee Chick shampoo sachet, it wasn't just a successful product launch. No, it's been described as a tactical nuke being dropped on the entire industry. It was an explosion that completely and permanently changed the rules of the game for everybody.
And this wasn't just luck. It was a brilliant 4-step attack. First, the sachet itself was a distribution dream, so lightweight and easy to stock it could reach every remote corner of the country. Second, they didn't just steal market share, they created an entirely new market of millions of first-time users. Third, this caused absolute panic among the giants. They were forced to copy the model, but they couldn't compete profitably. And finally, they sealed the deal with genius marketing, like exchanging empty sachets for new ones, which created a frenzy of trials.
So, what's the lasting impact of this small packet? Well, it's way bigger than just shampoo. It's become a timeless lesson in business strategy and in understanding your customer.
At the end of the day, the Sachet Revolution became the undisputed playbook for how to win in emerging markets, not just in India, but around the world. It proved a simple but vital lesson. You don't sell what you want to make, you sell what your customer can actually afford to buy. This simple model democratized access to products for hundreds of millions of people.
And I mean, just look around you today. Its legacy is everywhere. Coffee, ketchup, detergent, face cream, the sachet model is the norm. This entire way of doing business, something we totally take for granted now, was pioneered by a small shampoo company that just dared to think differently. But really, this is what the whole story is all about. It wasn't just about cleaning hair. For the price of a single coin,
Chick sold something much more powerful, a sense of dignity, a taste of aspiration, and access to a modern world that had until then been completely out of reach.
And that leaves us with one final thought. We've seen how C.K. Ranganathan found the one tiny crack in the shampoo fortress. So the question for all of us is, what impenetrable modern-day fortress, whether it's in tech or education or finance, is just sitting there, waiting for its own simple, brilliant one-rupee